Number 10. Kylie Jenner. The US business magazine estimated Jenner's net worth at $1 billion and claimed she was the world's youngest self-made billionaire at the age of 21 in March 2019. Forbes later released a statement accusing the makeup mogul of forging tax documents so she would appear to be a billionaire, and claimed she fabricated revenue figures for her cosmetics business Kylie Cosmetics. Jenner seemed taken aback by the claims and tweeted that the magazine had published, quote, inaccurate statements and unproven assumptions, and denied forging any documents. The magazine adds that a more realistic accounting of her personal fortune puts it at just under $900 million, which is still a lot of money, but it's not a billion. Number 9. Sean Kingston. The Jamaican-American singer achieved fame as soon as he stepped into the limelight when he released the single Beautiful Girls. Since then, it's fair to assume people haven't heard a whole lot about Sean, who's still trying to recreate that success. Well, back then, being one of the biggest stars around, you'd think it would be easy for him to try and impress beautiful girls. You'd think he'd have women falling at his feet due to his superstar status. Perhaps he did, but Sean still played fast and loose with the truth and still felt he needed to add to his image. He was found out lying to a date when he revealed to the paparazzi that he had owned a sports car given to him by Justin Bieber. They later discovered after some digging that Bieber had only lent him the wheels for a matter of days. Probably to impress his date, but we're not sure. Number 8. Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker was once one of Hollywood's top men. Once upon a time, he was ranking it in. At the height of his powers, he was earning $25 million for films like Rush Hour 3, despite that film being a major flop. His comedic timing and general funny man persona meant he was loved by one and all. The once bankable star, despite still living the high life, soon went broke. He blames this on a number of things. Firstly, he had tax problems and had to shell out millions to the taxman. But secondly, he became a born-again Christian. This meant that he became very choosy with the roles that were offered to him. Almost all were too inappropriate for him and didn't sit well with him on his mission of wanting to be closer to God. But many would say he's been using this as an excuse and that he's been lying about this aspect of his lifestyle. He said he was going to keep his comedy clean, but anyone who's seen his work recently would know that that's not the case. Number 7. Britney Spears. Britney Spears was a superstar singer who ruled the pop world during the late 90s and early 2000s, and today she's still around doing her thing, but has gone through plenty of issues since her initial rise to fame, and it's safe to say that she's no longer the pop princess she once was. There are plenty of people who say that everything about Britney Spears is fake, from her look to her voice, music, lifestyle, and just overall personality. Everything about Britney is an illusion for the media. After her golden period, she went on a hiatus, and that's when she was dealing with plenty of things. When Sam Lutfi was her manager, she was still acting like a pop princess, but was seriously hemorrhaging money. She was hardly earning during this time, but was spending what cash she had on anything and everything. Cars, homes, shopping, you name it, she splurged on it. Britney was broke, yet was spending a whopping $700,000 a month. She was caught when it was discovered her dad had to step in and help her get a grip. Number 6. Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton has been caught faking an aspect of her persona. Well, she was caught because she chose to come out with it herself and reveal everything. We probably all know that Paris lives a life of luxury. She's an heiress to a fortune and is basically famous for being famous and flaunting her cash. Kinda like the Kardashians. But there's an aspect of her lifestyle that she has faked. Remember when Paris Hilton first did reality TV along with her best buddy Nicole Richie? They were a part of the simple life in the early 2000s. And it's fairly self-explanatory from the title, it's about the two getting to grips with the normal life, so-called simple life. Nicole was the troublemaker and Paris portrayed the young, dumb, ditzy blonde. Apparently, it was all staged. Paris was asked to portray that character and due to the success of the show, went along with it for the next 5 years. Number 5. 50 Cent. If you think about some of the wealthiest rappers in the world, you'd have to assume that 50 Cent would feature on that list. He's had a string of successful hit singles, was a movie star, boxing promoter, and can add businessman to that list too. But some of his business decisions and financial planning have gone south, leaving 50 Cent in debt. At one point, he was broke and filed for bankruptcy. It was then that we realized that the whole image he was portraying and the lifestyle he claimed to be leading at the time was fake. He also had other money issues too, and was ordered to pay back some of his debts because it was thought, judging by his lifestyle, that he could afford to do so. That's when he pulled back the curtain and revealed his lifestyle was an illusion. His gold chains were recycled, cars were rentals, and he lied about placing $1 million bets on boxing fights, and the list just goes on and on and on. Number 4. Sean Combs. This guy is probably the only other person person who can rival Jay-Z. When it comes to the money side of things, Sean Combs has earned his fortune as a rapper, singer, songwriter, actor, record producer, and entrepreneur. He's made some savvy decisions and it's led to him acquiring a vast sum of wealth. It seems like rappers just love lying about private jets they supposedly own. Combs can certainly afford his own private jet, and does have one now, one that's actually his. But even he, once upon a time, lied about owning a private jet. He once said that he owned one, but didn't use it regularly because of the sky-high prices of fuel. I mean, accurate, but it wasn't true. At the time he said that, of course people began doing some digging. And it wasn't long before it was discovered that he had rented a jet by the hour and didn't actually own one. Number 3, Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan has been through a lot, and she's still relatively young. But as she rose through the ranks and got older, she struggled to deal with the fame, fortune, and everything that being a celebrity entails. Her downward spiral was dramatic, and she's still struggling to find her feet again on the Hollywood scene. Although it was evident she was going through numerous problems, Lindsay tried to hide it as best she could, although she didn't do a very good job at it. She was broke and filed for bankruptcy, yet she was still living in her plush accommodation, dining in seriously fancy restaurants, etc. She has also been caught lying about other aspects of her life, many think just to keep herself relevant in the eyes of the media. Wild stories about her crop up time and time again, and sources close to Lindsay have revealed they're all lies. Number 2, Chloe Khan. Nowadays, you really can become a celebrity for doing anything, so as long as your face gets picked up, you get a little bit of popularity, you can build upon that. That's exactly what Chloe Khan did. She may not be too familiar to those outside of the UK, but on British shores, she's created quite a name for herself. Her rise to fame began when she unsuccessfully auditioned for the show The X Factor. Now, most people would just disappear after achieving their 5 minutes of fame, but not Chloe. She gained a bit of popularity and this just grew. She then achieved fame after dating John Gray, and subsequently becoming the face of the chain of clubs. Chloe has also achieved webcam success and has launched a premium social club fans-only site. She's been dubbed the Millionaire Princess, but her luxurious lifestyle is all an illusion. For example, she claims she owns a mansion. It's been discovered, however, that the mansion consists of apartments, and she only rents out one of them. She's told people the fancy car she owns was bought with her hard-earned cash. Then she told other people it was a freebie for promotion purposes. Now coming in at number 1, Justin Bieber. If anyone in the singing profession could afford to buy a private jet, it'd be Justin Bieber. The guy's been continuously racking it in from a relatively young age, and he's one of the highest paid singers around. He's also someone who loves to splash on the cash. What he spent with his money on is a subject that often warrants plenty of attention from the media. He spent his cash on the usual things such as parties, cars, and houses, and I suppose buying a private jet is usual when it comes to a superstar singers in his line of work. Or he wanted everybody to think so anyway. Posting a picture one Christmas casually announcing he bought himself a little Christmas present in the shape of a private jet. But as soon as he posted that photo, TMZ began doing their homework. They discovered that the jet was basically a rental, and it wasn't long before people began getting on his back. Number 10, Ike Batista. In 2012, Batista was worth an estimated $30 billion, making him the 7th richest man in the world. But when Batista's oil company failed to meet demands and Brazil's economy slid into a decline, the billionaire filed for bankruptcy in 2013, after authorities began investigating why Brazil's top companies had declined so quickly. They charged Batista with money laundering and corruption in January 2017. Then in July 2018, he was sentenced to 30 years in prison for bribing former Rio de Janeiro governor Sergio Cabral. Number 9, the Koch brothers. David and Charles, the brothers still with Koch Industries, are among the world's biggest polluters. Bill Koch, who split off from the family company, is a world-class weirdo who devotes himself to things like building a faux western town solely for his amusement and buying a $2 million photo of Billy the Kid. Though not as active in bankrolling GOP polls as his brothers, Bill was a big supporter of fellow 1% jerk Mitt Romney and has found time to fight against America's first offshore wind farm in Massachusetts. As for David and Charles, they have won a permanent spot in the Public Menace Hall of Fame, kicking their fellow human beings in the face with everything from funding climate change denial to strangling democracy. They have striven to reshape America into a Tea Party nightmare and have plenty of money to continue their mission. Number 8, Peter Peterson. Private equity mogul Pete Peterson, who founded the Blackstone Group with Steven Schwartzman, has a very straightforward agenda. He wants to kill Social Security and Medicare, the programs that keep millions of Americans out of poverty. His strategy is to channel gargantuan amounts of money into stoking nonsensical deficit hysteria. His focus on austerity policies, which have proved disastrous around the world, particularly in places like the UK, makes him an economic quack, but one who has found willing ears among fools and villains. influence. Peterson has pushed his messaging into popular culture. He has held high-profile summits, and he has enlisted hordes of wealthy politicians, like Alan Simpson. He is a driving force behind the Fix the Debt campaign, a consortium of corporate bosses and rich individuals who have attempted to bring deficit scaremongering to DC in order to achieve cuts to vital programs and further strip hardworking Americans of their dignity. Number 7. Rupert Murdoch. Murdoch, the Australian media tycoon, has dedicated himself to coercing the public through the misinformation, intolerance, and contempt of ordinary people promoted through his News Corp. Politicians woo him for his cash and the vast influence of his newspapers, magazines, and TV networks, creating a foul nexus of influence that is corrosive to democracy. Be it union busting, race baiting, or monopolistic business practices, Murdoch has been there, done that. He's found himself embroiled in a hacking scandal in which employees of his newspaper were caught doing just about anything, including bribing police and hacking into the phone of an executed schoolgirl to get a story. Murdoch had previously tweeted what he considered a joke about an obese woman who fell through a New York sidewalk, asking if she got too fat from food stamps and welfare. Number 6. Stephen Schwarzman. The Blackstone Group's co-founder Stephen Schwarzman, described as private equity's designated villain in The New Yorker, is fond of throwing lavish parties for himself, including an infamous $3 million birthday feat in June 2007 at New York City's Park Avenue Armory. The party, which went down in history as a show-stopping chant to bad taste, featured a marching band of a 50-foot silkscreen recreation of Schwarzman-owned $40 billion apartment. Revelers included Bill Clinton and Cardinal Edward Egan, now considered a dark horse for the Pope. A couple of months later, the economy tanked thanks in part to the mismanagement and excess debt of the unregulated private equity firms that have served to weaken the real economy. Schwarzman captured headlines by comparing raising taxes on private equity fat cats like himself to Adolf's invasion of Poland. He's reportedly outraged that persons like himself have been the subject of contempt since the financial crisis. Number 5. Gina Rinehart. If there is a place for those who hate working people, Australian mining mogul Gina Rinehart occupies the innermost circle. The richest woman in the Asia-Pacific region likes to share her obscene philosophy of wealth, and had once made a case for $2 a day pay. She also instructed poor people to stop being jealous of the rich and to focus on working harder, and drinking and smoking less. She blamed Australia's economic problems on a socialist, anti-business agenda. But of course, Rinehart, who inherited a $30 billion fortune, has never had a real job. Number 4. True Cathy. While Chick-fil-A is perhaps best known for its crispy chicken sandwiches, the company is also known for its controversy surrounding LGBTQ+ rights. Chick-fil-A and its president Dan Cathy, whose current net worth is $5.2 billion, were scandalized after the company revealed its support for Christian organizations such as Fellowship of Christian Athletes, the Salvation Army, and the Paul Anderson Youth Home, which have all held anti-gay beliefs over the years. In 2012, Cathy gave an interview to the Baptist Press in which he said he believed in the, quote, biblical definition of the family unit. That is, that marriage should only be between a man and a woman. Backlash ensued, and while Cathy claimed it was his own personal religious belief and that the company did not have any anti-gay agenda, activists went as far as to boycott the chain entirely. The chain has since stopped donating to these organizations, choosing instead to donate to education, homeless, and hunger. Number 3. The Walton family. The Walton family is the richest in the US and heirs to the retail juggernaut Walmart. They collectively claim 0.14% of the country's entire wealth. Or to put it another way, they are worth as much as the bottom 41% of all Americans combined. Their legacy is a grotesque business model that depends on pushing down wages and sinking living standards for millions of Americans. Rob is the chairman of the board of directors of the company that pays its full-time hourly employees an average of $12.50 and has a policy of keeping them part-time so they don't even earn that. The Waltons are big-time funders of conservative causes, with special emphasis on undermining public education. Jim Moulton, who serves as a chairman for the Walton-owned Arvest Bank, is particularly active in injecting his family's ill-gotten gains into politics. Number 2. Leon Black. In October 2020, a New York Times report revealed that Black, the billionaire founder of private equity and investing firm Apollo Management, paid disgraced financier Jeffrey about $50 million for personal financial advice between 2012 and 2017. The time period is notable. It means Black engaged in Jeffrey's services long after he was convicted in 2008 of an underage intimacy charge in Florida, in a plea deal worked out between him and U.S. attorneys that enabled Jeff to serve that many believe was a light prison sentence in a county jail. jail. Black quickly expressed regret for his association with Jeffrey since his 2019 arrest, said that Jeffrey never did business with Apollo, and claimed he was unaware of Jeff's alleged intimacy ring of underage girls. Number 1. Jacqueline Mars. Jacqueline Mars, the heiress to the Mars candy fortune and company co-owner, was involved in a 2013 car accident that took the life of a woman and an unborn child. The Washington Post reported that, according to authorities, Mars had told a witness at the scene of the accident that she had fallen asleep while driving. The victims in the accident were identified as 86-year-old grandmother named Irene, who was sitting in the back seat, and the unborn child of Ashley Aker Blakesley, the driver of the Chrysler minivan struck by Mars' Porsche SUV. 5 other passengers were later treated at the hospital. At the time, Mars was the second richest woman in the US with a net worth of $20.5 billion. Her net worth currently sits at $30.2 billion. She pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor reckless driving charge, resulting in 6-month suspension of her driver's license and a $2,500 fine. The Acker family said they never wished for Mars to spend time behind bars for the accident. "We have only forgiveness in our hearts for her," Sharon Acker, Ashley's mother, had said in a court statement. "My husband and I would like to say thank you to Miss Mars for her kindness thus far and hope in time that she too will find peace." Number 10. Bridge alignment gone wrong. When you come across a fail like this, it really makes you wonder if somebody was out there playing an elaborate joke or something. There's no way that anyone could possibly mess up a project that important, right? It's less than likely that the guy responsible for this one kept his job. On the plus side, it looks like one lane on each side lines up with the other. At least all they need now is a couple of ramps to send traffic flying over the gap to and from work on their daily commute. Or maybe a catapult to send people and cars to the other side. But the reality of that actually working is probably pretty low. I mean, this guy made one of his own, and as cool as it is, it probably won't work with cars. So this bridge was a big flop and likely cost thousands of dollars to fix. Modern problems require modern solutions. Number 9. French train company orders trains that are too fat for platforms. The French company SNCF flubbed the purchase of 2,000 trains in 2014. The problem? Well, many of their platforms were too narrow to fit the new trains. The mistake cost around 50 million euros, a steep cost to incur on top of the 15 billion euros they had just paid for the trains. The error occurred when the operator neglected to factor in measurements of train platforms that had been built more than 50 years ago. The process of expanding the 1,300 platforms to accommodate their corresponding trains took 2 years, in a process that was equally expensive and time-consuming as it was embarrassing. But I mean, in all fairness, I went out and bought a couch without measuring my apartment, and now it's too big. So I guess the operator and I have something in common. But also, now I've learned my lesson, like now I measure things. But also, if I was a train operator, I would have definitely measured. Number 8. Blockbuster could have bought Netflix in 2000. Before video streaming services became all the rage, you used to have to go to these places called video stores where you'd rent movies. If you kept it past the due date, you'd have to pay a late fee. Blockbuster was the biggest of these video store chains, and it was the best. I mean, the store shut down and it sucked. Everyone loved the place. But then Netflix was a successful newcomer with an interesting business model. In 2000, Reed Hastings, the co-founder of Netflix, met with John Antioco, the CEO of Blockbuster, to propose a partnership. Netflix would run Blockbuster's online brand, and Blockbuster would promote Netflix in stores. John and his team laughed Hastings out of their office. 10 years later, Blockbuster went bankrupt, and now Netflix is currently worth $15.8 billion. Talk about bad luck. Number 7. Publishers pass on Harry Potter. Undoubtedly, you've heard the story, not Harry Potter's story, the one about the woman who wrote the books. JK had humble beginnings. She conceived the idea of Harry Potter in 1990 while sitting on a delayed train from Manchester to London King's Cross. Over the next 5 years, she began to map out all 7 books of the series. She wrote mostly in longhand and gradually built up a mass of notes, many of which were scribbled on odd scraps of paper. Taking her notes with her, she moved to northern Portugal to teach English as a foreign language. Married in 1992 and had a daughter, Jessica, in 1993. When the marriage ended later that year, she returned to the UK to live in Edinburgh with Jessica and a suitcase containing the first 3 chapters of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. After she finished writing, the books catapulted her to success. For inspiration, JK shared a couple of her rejection letters with her Twitter followers. In response to Robert E. Galbraith, one publisher says, "I regret that we have reluctantly come to the conclusion that we could not publish Harry Potter with commercial success." The book was then first published by Bloomsbury Children's Book in June 1997. Now book sales alone of the Harry Potter series have grossed to well over an estimated $7.7 billion. Number 6. Robert Wayne sells his Apple stock for $800. Everyone knows that hindsight is 20/20, but still this had to sting. Steve Jobs is a household name, and most moderately tech-inclined people are familiar with Steve Wozniak, but many are unfamiliar with Apple's third founder, Ronald Wayne. Wayne drew Apple's iconic logo and served as an intermediary between the two innovative Steves. Jobs' strong personality clashed with Wayne, eventually prompting him to sell his 10% stake in the company for $800 in 1976.
price, which today is around $4,000, a decision that prevented him from becoming a multi-billionaire. Apple then became worth well over $1 trillion. Despite missing out on enormous earnings, Wayne said he had no regrets in leaving the company. But I mean, I'm sure deep down there's gotta be some kind of regret. I mean, imagine you had this piece of jewelry that it was only worth $20, so you sold it to buy a pizza or whatever, and then years later you found out it is now worth over $1 million. Gotta feel pretty bad. Number 5. Millennium, the wobbly bridge in the Thames. On June 10, 2000, construction was completed on an £18.2 million bridge connecting both sides of the River Thames. The bridge was then closed 3 days later after a disturbing incident while the bridge was crowded with foot traffic. The bridge was swaying very dangerously. During the weekend it opened, approximately 160,000 people crossed the pedestrian bridge and were understandably alarmed by the rapid movement of the fixture. The cause of the problem was the bridge's popularity. Too many people stepping in unison along the path. The bridge closed immediately following the concerns, but more money had to be raised to correct the problem. It would then be 2 years before the bridge would open again. Number 4. Star Wars merchandise. George Lucas is a rich man, but it's quite possible he could have been a lot richer. The film studio was very unwilling to fork over the necessary cash to allow the green filmmaker to film a certain science fiction story involving robots, spaceships, and light-up swords. So Lucas decided to sweeten the deal a little. He signed over the merchandising rights for all Star Wars films to 20th Century Fox. That means that Lucas doesn't see a dime from every toy droid, stormtrooper, or lightsaber sold. And I don't think I have to tell you how much money Star Wars merchandise makes for you to understand how much that has to hurt. But here's a little glimpse. In 1970, Star Wars action figures alone exceeded $100 million in sales. By now, it's well into the billions. Number 3. Excite could have bought Google during its early stages. If you remember the early days of the internet, you might remember Excite. In 1999, it was the second most popular search engine. Yahoo was in fact number 1. Google, then called Backrub, was a promising new competitor in the search engine market. But hey, little side note, imagine an alternate reality where the name wasn't changed and people referred to an internet search as a backrub. Kinda weird. Anyway, moving on. Excite was interested in buying the company for $750,000, but passed when Google insisted that its technology replace Excite's. Maddeningly, one of the main reasons cited for Excite passing on Google's technology was because they thought it worked too well. Users would find the information they wanted and move on too quickly, and Excite would lose precious revenue. Excite sold to Yahoo in 2004 and estimates valued Google at $167 billion. Number 2. Man throws away 7,500 bitcoins in 2009. In 2009, few saw the way cryptocurrency would take off in the coming years. Unfortunately for James Howell, he was not one of the few blessed with the foresight. Shortly after acquiring 7,500 bitcoins, when they were worth very little, Mr. Howell spilled coffee on his computer. He salvaged and sold most of the parts and got all the information he thought he'd need off the hard drive. The hard drive sat in his drawer for years before he threw it away for a move. When he realized his mistake and after seeing the way Bitcoin had taken off, he began searching for the lost hard drive in the city dump. To make matters worse, the Newport City Council forbid him from continuing the search due to concerns about the environmental impact of disturbing potentially hazardous waste. Bitcoin peaked when it hit over $19,000 in December 2017, and this means that Howell essentially threw away $148 million. Now call it insanely bad luck or stupidity, but that's just unfortunate nonetheless. Now coming in at number 1, a walkie-talkie building is so reflective it melts carports. You might have heard about a building so ugly that it hurts your eyes, but you've probably never considered a building that can melt a car. The funny looking building on 20 French Church Street had to shell out some extra funds for some protection after complaints that it had melted parts of a man's Jaguar that was parked across the street. The glare from the 37th floor skyscraper at 20 French Church Street melted parked vehicles and damaged shops in the city of London. Developer Land Security said it has received planning permission to install a sunshade. In its financial results for 2013, the developer said a solar glare issue drew attention to the building for the wrong reasons. The scorching glare and heat also damaged parked vehicles, including a Jaguar, melting its wing mirror, panels, and Jaguar badge. Martin Lindsay was returning to his vehicle one day when he noticed a photographer snapping pictures of his car. His rearview mirror and part of the body had rippled under the intense heat generated by the reflection of the side of the building. Developers paid the £946 fee to Mr. Lindsay and had built a temporary sunscreen to mitigate sun damage to the surrounding area until a permanent solution was found. I mean, I don't own a super luxury car, but if I was the owner of that car, I would be so mad. I've been on TikTok since it was called Musical.ly. Shout out if you know what I'm talking about. I'm your host, Michaela, and today I'll be telling you the top 10 richest TikTokers and how they got there. And make sure to subscribe because it really helps us out, but now let's get started. Number 10, Lauren Gray. Lauren Gray is a young TikTok star who began when she was a very young kid in the 6th grade. She started on the Musical.ly platform before it became TikTok in 2015. In 2021, Miss Gray has amassed a huge following, more than 50 million. Her popularity
popularity then later soared after she signed a 2018 deal with Virgin Records and released a total of 8 singles. Her music career is flourishing, but she has also formed some lucrative partnerships with few major brand deals. These include Revlon, Hyundai, Skechers, and Burger King. Now her net worth is around $5 million. Number 9. Baby Ariel. Baby Ariel became famous for her lip-sync videos on Musical.ly, and she garnered more than 35 million followers at the time. Since she began, she has added to her videos and has ventured into the dancing and acting arenas. It doesn't seem to matter what Baby Ariel chooses to do because she has a dedicated following to her fans who love anything she posts. It is her variety that draws so many followers because they never know what she's going to do next. She's known for a strong stand against bullying, and her campaign to end bullying has led to a feature on People magazine. She's also appeared on Disney Channel and Nickelodeon. Her popularity has resulted in Baby Ariel amassing a net worth of around $6 million. Number 8. Avani Gregg. Avani Gregg, another of TikTok's biggest stars, became famous due to her TikTok video where she transformed into a Harley Quinn-style clown. Followers called her the Clown Girl and started following her makeup videos. She also joined the famous Hype House in 2019, together with Charli D'Amelio. She went on to star in Chicken Girls, published a memoir, and hosted a Facebook Watch talk show addressing Gen Z issues. She also has sponsorship deals with brands like NYX Cosmetics and her own line of influencer merchandise. And with over 42 million followers, her net worth sits at around $3 million. Number 7. Chris Collins. Collins is another example of how fast someone can accumulate fame and money off TikTok. Before the pandemic, Collins was a hairdresser in Vancouver, Canada. When the virus made working impossible for a time, she downloaded TikTok largely on her brother's suggestion, and has since put together something akin to an ongoing sketch comedy show. She plays a number of recurring characters, many of them based on family members, including her immigrant mom. It's won her 45 million followers on TikTok, most of them amassed in the last year. And those funny routines also play well on YouTube, where she's over 7 million subscribers and amassed over 1.2 billion views, which is a considerable point. The usual TikTok stuff, lip syncs, dances, doesn't really transfer successfully to YouTube, which rewards longer videos with a little more depth. Collins' humor is family-friendly, catnip for brands such as Hershey, Lionsgate, and Pantene, which have showered her with sponsorships as well, leading to her net worth of around $1 million. Number 6. Josh Richards. Josh Richards remains as one of TikTok's highest paid stars. His popularity rose due to his singing, dance, and lip sync videos, and he has since built a reputation as TikTok's resident heartthrob and bad boy. He has secured sponsorships with House Party and Reebok, created his own influencer merch line, leveraged YouTube ad revenue, and signed a song deal with Warner Records. Richards also started his own energy drink business called Annie Energy, co-founded a talent management company named Talent X, and joined Triller as its chief strategy officer. His move to Triller as a social media executive set him up for evolution from his TikTok persona to an industry leader. He also co-founded Animal Capital, which is a VC firm that invests in everything from apps to genetic engineering labs. Number 5. Zach King. Zach King is best known for his short video content that began before TikTok became a thing. He started on Vine and YouTube and became a social media sensation. In 2016, he joined TikTok with rapid speed. He became one of the platform's biggest stars. He has amassed several followers that are above 70 million. In 2019, one of his TikTok videos received more than 2 billion views, which has helped to boost his total net worth of around $6.5 million. Number 4. Bella Porsche. Bella Porsche is the newest addition to the world's biggest TikTok stars. Her rise to fame was through a viral video she made lip-syncing to Millie B's Soph Aspen Send. Her followers quickly rose to 90 million, and she became the 3rd most followed account on TikTok. Her video was also the most viewed TikTok video of 2020. Born in the Philippines before migrating to Texas with her adoptive family, she's openly spoken about her roots and challenges growing up. Her TikTok fame has opened doors for her as a pop artist, where she signed a deal with Warner Records and released her single Build a B-Word. It reached number 56 in the Billboard pop charts and earned her several MTV nominations. Porsche has also appeared in professional esports organizations after she grabbed their attention as a live streamer and gamer. She has signed a content creator under 100 Thieves and FaZe Clan. She has also appeared in ads of big brands like Google and Prada. Number 3. Dixie D'Amelio. Dixie D'Amelio is Charli D'Amelio's older sister. They regularly post content together on each other's accounts, and this has boosted their overall TikTok presence. Dixie, however, has opted to branch out into music. She released her first single, Be Happy, in June 2020. It debuted at number 1 on both Billboard's Top Triller US and Top Triller Global charts and became the number 1 trending video on YouTube. Last year, she released 2 more songs, Psycho and F-Boy, and toured with other pop artists during Christmas time. She also stars with her sister in a Snapchat series called Charli vs. Dixie and the Hulu reality TV series The D'Amelio Show, which is a lot like the Kardashians show in a way. Number 2. Addison Rae. By showcasing her dancing skills on TikTok, Addison Rae became well known. After opening an account, she accumulated 1 million followers in less than a year. She became aware of the fact that higher education relocation was not necessary for success as a result. She then relocated to California, where she joined the Hype House. After that, she had a lot of doors open to her. Her initial sponsor was a women's online clothing retailer named Fashion Nova. She introduced Item Beauty, her own beauty line, in association with the cosmetics company Made By. She now has 88 million followers, making her the 4th most popular TikTok user on the network. Thanks to her dancing skills and other content ideas, she brings in approximately $8.5 million a year. Number 1. Charli D'Amelio. Charli D'Amelio is the highest paid TikTok influencer of 2020, with almost 150 million followers in the app alone. Forbes has even included her twice in a row in their list of top 7 highest paid TikTok stars. She started posting dance videos on TikTok in June 2019, which soon went viral. Since then, she went on to appear as an opening act for the Jonas Brothers and as a guest on Jimmy Fallon's The Tonight Show. She has been invited by Prada to cover Paris Fashion Week and has forged a partnership with EOS Cosmetics. She's even appeared for a Super Bowl commercial. Together with her sister Dixie, she moved to Los Angeles and joined the Hype House as well. The two have also signed a joint venture deal with Hollister. They created Social Tourist, a clothing brand whose success contributes to 10% of the company's sales, and they have a brand deal with Morphe Cosmetics as well. According to the Wall Street Journal, Charli D'Amelio earned higher than some of the biggest CEOs of publicly traded companies like Starbucks and McDonald's. Her latest promotions include Dunkin' Donuts, which named a drink after her, and she also has her own line of influencer merch, which puts her net worth at around, drumroll please, $10 million, which when you think about it is quite a lot considering she posts 15-second videos of her dancing. I mean, yes, she does do other things, which I mentioned, but I mean, she started with dancing videos and now has a net worth of 10 million. It's just insane. YouTube, which was started in 2005, is becoming more and more popular as the ultimate go-to website for watching and streaming videos. Regular users who would otherwise have remained entirely anonymous are finding fame through uploading videos, just like how Justin Bieber got his start. I'm your host, Michaela, and today I'll be telling you about the top 10 richest YouTubers who started from the bottom. And make sure to subscribe because it really helps us out, but now let's get started. Number 10, PewDiePie. PewDiePie, also known as Felix, is a Swedish YouTube vlogger whose channel mainly focuses on video games. Felix has broken various YouTube progress records, hopping from 12 million supporters in August 2013 to more than 20 million in January 2014. PewDiePie didn't become successful just because of a sudden viral hit or change in his YouTube presence. Instead, the reason behind his success is, quote, consistency. Felix uploads videos on his channel almost every single day. The moment he started getting popular, he built upon his success and never let up his online presence. He invests heaps of time discussing his fans' questions in the comments and form a famous group of bros, where his fans can share his work with their friends. PewDiePie's fame is a worthy lesson for anyone eager to grow an audience on YouTube. There's no secret formula but consistency, hard work, and quality content to engage your audience constantly. Also, he didn't do too bad for a former CUT student. He did, however, take a small break in order to recharge his batteries, but of course he has come back better than ever. Number 9, mrbeast. There are many ways to diversify your income stream and earn money while you're sleeping. One of these is to become a YouTuber, and here Jimmy Donaldson, or mrbeast, discovered another secret: have multiple channels and make sure each one is wildly successful. He started his main channel in 2012 when he was 13. That channel now has 113 million subscribers and more than 18 billion views. A master of the viral video, his different channels combined have over 200 million subscribers and over 30 billion views. Donaldson has also branched into other business ventures, including mrbeast Burger and investing in tech companies. He has raised millions for charity, focusing mainly on environmental issues. And all the profits from his Beast philanthropy channel go towards charitable causes. Celebrity Net Worth says he has an estimated $54 million to his name. Number 8, Disney Collector BR. Disney Collector BR is a famous YouTube channel owned by an anonymous Brazilian lady who frequently uploads videos of Disney toys. Despite her anonymous status, Disney Collector BR is the most watched YouTube channel in the United States. Disney has entered into the child's world, and channel videos leave a, quote, spellbinding effect on children through background music, voice, and instructions. Young kids love the opportunity to observe someone demonstrating how to engage with certain toys, which is why this faceless YouTube channel is consistently on top of the list. In April 2014, the channel was the 3rd most seen around the world, coming in right after Katy Perry's channel. So ultimately, the appearance of your YouTube channel can make or break the success of your videos. Put your efforts to draw the attention of the viewers. Create an appealing channel name and add relevant content to get things started. And don't forget to add a channel short description to give viewers an idea of the kind of content you're offering. Number 7, KSI. When a 15-year-old British boy created a YouTube channel account in 2008 under the name Jai Jr., there were hints at what the future held in store. Among the videos he posted was a rap about his chemistry homework. A year later, he started a new channel under the name everyone would know him by, KSI. This channel now has 24 million subscribers and over 5.9 billion views. At first, he focused on commentary on the FIFA video games, but there were some comedy rap songs too that helped kickstart his career as a rapper. He now has 2 studio albums to his name, as well well as a slew of singles and collaborations. In 2011, he started another YouTube channel under his real name JJ, posting mainly reaction videos. That channel has 16 million subscribers and over 3.8 billion views. KSI was also a member of the British YouTube group Sidemen. In addition to YouTube and music, he's also an actor, has written 2 books, has been involved in creating video games, been a boxer, and is co-owner of several companies, and his net worth is estimated to be around $25 million. Number 6. Smosh. Smosh is a YouTube comedy channel operated by Ian and Anthony. The producers behind the brand that was established in the fall of 2005 aren't newcomers to internet content creation or comedy. The co-founder, Anthony, started the whole phenomenon back in 2003 when he uploaded a few short flash animations on the Newgrounds website. A few months later, Ian, his friend, started helping him, and the two worked together on each release. They went into the consideration of the YouTube group when their video of the Pokemon signature song became the most popular video of the time. Their dedication to high quality clips has helped them win the attention of more than 24 million people from around the world. Since 2006, Smosh has made various comedy videos that are still regularly updated and consistently popular. The lesson here is to not undervalue the value of video production. If your content is interesting or creative but the quality is low, your viewers will watch the video for the first few seconds. Invest in a good video camera to capture HD videos and use professional video editing programs to make your video catchier. Number 5. Roman Atwood. Roman Atwood started his first YouTube channel in 2009, posting prank videos. While he hasn't posted on that channel in years, it has over 10.3 million subscribers and over 1.5 billion views. His main channel, Roman Atwood Vlogs, which he started in 2013, consists of vlogs and prank videos too, and has 15.5 million subscribers and over 5.4 billion views. While his videos have been hugely popular, his pranks haven't always been harmless and fun, like the award-winning one where he filled his house with plastic balls. His wife has been on the receiving end of some particularly cruel pranks. When in one prank he, quote, confessed that he'd cheated on her, she pranked him right back with a similar confession, which he didn't take very well. He was also arrested after a prank where he pretended to rob an ATM. A movie called Natural Born Pranksters made a loss and was panned by the critics. Still, Roman has an estimated $14.5 million to his name. Not too bad for a family channel type. Number 4. Sky Does Minecraft. Minecraft has been an especially lucrative game for many YouTubers. Adam Dahlberg has amassed over 11 million subscribers and over 3 billion video views with his gameplay videos and commentary. He started as a member of Team Crafted, another popular Minecraft-themed YouTube channel, but eventually struck out on his own. Today he's been making $700,000 to $5.9 million a year, and his fan base is so loyal that some have written fan fiction about him. He's also the only known YouTube celebrity to appear in a Lady Gaga video. And while he hasn't posted a video on his channel, Sky Does Everything, he's still widely popular. Number 3. Emma Chamberlain. Emma Chamberlain started her YouTube channel in 2016, shortly after her 15th birthday. The channel is an eclectic mix of fashion and makeup, food, travel, vlogs, and more, with close to 12 million subscribers and over 1.5 billion views. After moving to Los Angeles in 2018, Emma joined up with James Charles and the Dolan twins to form the Sister Squad. She's had series on Snapchat and Instagram, designed her own fashion line, has a mail-order coffee company, has her own podcast, and has won numerous awards. The star, who has been on several magazine covers, has also been open about her struggles with body dysmorphia and eating disorders. Celebrity Net Worth also estimates her fortune to be at $12 million. Number 2. Markiplier. Mark Fishbach, better known as Markiplier, originally created his YouTube channel in 2012 to feature sketch comedy videos. He's since added gaming videos and has collaborated with other YouTubers too. His channel has 34 million subscribers and over 19 billion views. In addition to some TV and movie roles, Markiplier has branched out into some podcasting and the clothing brand Cloak. Among his multiple awards are ones recognizing the large amounts of money he's raised for charity through live streams. Number 1. Captain Sparkles. Some of the most successful YouTube contributors managed to find good pop culture hooks. Jordan Marin, who goes by Captain Sparkles on the site, began building his fan base with a parody video of Gangnam Style in the video game Minecraft. It all started on his 18th birthday. When captivated by seeing other YouTubers upload gameplay videos, he asked his mother for a PC capture card as his birthday present. He got further into posting videos in college at the University of California, Santa Barbara, despite promises otherwise to his parents. Today he has over 11 million subscribers and his videos have been watched close to 4 billion times. That puts his net worth at around $15 million. I was a big YouTube kid growing up, and sometimes I wondered why my favorite YouTubers would just disappear, but that was before I realized a lot of them got into some very controversial stuff. I'm your host Michaela, and today I'll be telling you the top 10 YouTubers who lost millions from being controversial. And make sure to subscribe, but now let's get started. Number 10. James Charles versus Tati Westbrook. The YouTube beauty world is as toxic as several of the chemicals that have been found in their products, with the biggest stars not only competing against each other to come out on top with their video content, but also now with their vast makeup empires. In the pettiest YouTube argument in years, James Charles and Tati Westbrook, two of the YouTube makeup heavyweights, butted heads over competing brands. When James Charles promoted a vitamin gummy product that was a competitor to one of Tati's products, she fired back with a now deleted 43-minute long video calling him out for this, forbes, as well as adding that he acts in a predatory and inappropriate manner towards very straight men. James Charles later filmed an apology video before taking some time out from YouTube, losing millions of subscribers in the process. When he returned, he debuted his 40-minute plus short film, No More Lies, in which he called Tati out for the way she went about the whole situation, and angrily denied claims he had harassed straight men. Number 9. Jake Paul's accusations against FaZe Banks. In August 2017, Jake Paul made a video accusing FaZe Banks, who just happened to be dating Jake's ex-friend, Alyssa Violet, of assaulting Jake's assistant Meg Zelly. Jake also accused FaZe of cheating on Alyssa. Jake alleged FaZe clotheslined Meg and left a nasty bruise on her neck. Even though Jake gave all the facts about this alleged assault, he was not present when it supposedly went down. FaZe then made his own video, providing his own side of the story. He claimed Jake and Team 10 were lying and trying to make him look bad, not to mention trying to destroy his relationship with Alyssa. He did note that he could have clotheslined Meg, as he was drunk that night, but he didn't remember doing so. If he did, it would have been unintentional. FaZe then revealed he was suing Jake and Team 10 for defamation of character and slander. Interestingly, Jake lost 60,000 followers after the incident. Later, a member of Team 10 who was there the night of the alleged assault, Max Beaumont, quit the team and then shared his side of the story. Max flat out said he neither saw FaZe hurt Meg, nor see FaZe kiss girls who weren't his girlfriend. Meg and Max had been friends for over 7 years, but Max couldn't sit by and let FaZe be accused of something he didn't do. According to Max, Meg told Max that FaZe clotheslined her, but it was an accident. She then showed Max the bruise. Number 8. Jeffree Star. The beauty guru is doubtlessly a divisive figure. On the one hand, he has created a multi-million-dollar beauty empire that sells out in minutes, and then on the other hand, he has engaged in highly problematic behavior. On several occasions, he has also used highly offensive racial slurs and said that he wanted to throw battery acid on a black woman's skin to lighten it. Additionally, he was associated with the highly controversial Vanity, a member of the electronic music group Blood on the Dance Floor, and often mentioned that Vanity was involved in grooming minors, yet Star remained friends with him. Number 7. Trisha Paytas. Trisha Paytas has attracted a wealth of controversy and has been branded a quote, certified internet troll, whose videos have been viewed over 2 billion times. Back in 2011, Paytas used the N-word while singing a rap song. What's more, Paytas, who has since clarified that they are non-binary, claimed to be a trans man but still a woman in 2019, and said they identified as quote, a chicken nugget, which was viewed as diminishing the lived experiences of the transgender community. Number 6. Olivia Jade's school scandal. Olivia Jade had a massive YouTube following before her parents, Full House legend Lori Loughlin, and Mossimo Giannelli, were indicted on federal charges, along with several other parents and celebrities, for their alleged participation in the nationwide college admissions scandal in October 2019. The influencer left the platform as a result of the negative press, and even lost a partnership she had in the works with Sephora, as well as Amazon. Olivia then returned to YouTube with 2 videos in December 2019, admitting her parents' legal issues. They then pleaded guilty to fraud, among other charges, in May 2020. Loughlin was sentenced to a 2-month prison sentence, which she served from October 2020 until December 2020, and Giannelli was sentenced to 5 months. He reported to prison in November 2020 and was released in April 2021. In January 2021, Olivia had then announced a second comeback to her channel, which has since continued. Number 5. PewDiePie being racist. There couldn't be a list of YouTube controversies without PewDiePie. As the biggest individual creator on the platform, he is admired by as many people as he is despised. His 2 biggest controversies have been centered around his controversial and often misguided sense of humor. In one video, he paid 2 men to hold up a sign saying something very anti-Semitic via the freelance service Fiverr, and on one live stream he used the N-word. These were both criticized heavily in the media. He had then later released an apology video for both, but the damage was already done. The 2 men from Fiverr were removed from the service despite English not being their first language, and PewDiePie lost his Disney deal and his series Scare PewDiePie was scrapped. He does, however, remain the most subscribed individual content creator on YouTube, much aided by the hashtag #SubToPewDiePie movement. Number 4. David Dobrik. Slovak YouTuber David Dobrik, who has 18.5 million subscribers, was doing pretty well, having the 5th most viewed channel on the platform. But all that changed when his vlog squad came under fire for intimate assault and racism allegations. Dobrik was accused of bullying the vlog squad members into uncomfortable situations, including tricking a blindfolded Seth into kissing fellow member Jason Nash. Furthermore, a woman alleged that she was intimately hurt during a vlog about group intimacy. Following Dobrik's apology video in March 2021, he stirred even further controversy just 1 month later when he severely injured Vlog Squad member Jeff during a stunt. The whole fiasco was then parodied by SNL, who took aim at Dobrik's seeming inability to learn from his past actions. Number 3. Sam Pepper's horrible prank. Way back in November 2015, Sam Pepper teamed up with Vine star Colby Brock and basically traumatized Colby's friend Sam Golbach. In the video, a masked Pepper kidnapped Golbach, tossing him into the trunk of a car, tied him to a chair on a rooftop, and made him watch Colby being shot. Golbach was screaming and crying and begging his captor to spare them. Golbach later learned it was all just a joke. To make matters worse, Pepper had already been in hot water a year prior to the kidnapping video. He posted the fake hand butt pinch prank, showing him asking a woman for directions before pinching their bottoms. He was later then accused of intimate harassment. Pepper then later claimed the video was a social experiment and was staged. Still doesn't make it any less wrong or inappropriate in my opinion. Number 2. Shane Dawson's various scandals. Oh my gosh, where to start? Which group hasn't Shane Dawson had it in for? Whether he's joking at the expense of black people, Jewish people, or marking unsettling remarks on children, he's never been too far from saying something earth-shatteringly stupid. But people have had enough and have cancelled him all over Twitter, multiple times to be exact. Twitter users started unearthing old videos which showed him doing blackface, using racial slurs, and doing a whole handful of other offensive things on his YouTube channel, such as pretending to pleasure himself over a photo of then 11-year-old Willow Smith. This with the added pressure of accusations from Tati Westbrook about him scheming with Jeffree Star to cancel James Charles caused him to be in some deep water. He then made an apology video, which didn't seem to go down well with viewers, judging by some of the comments people left. Number 1. Logan Paul's Okigahara Forest video. The somewhat less douchey Paul brother was always asking for a huge scandal to come his way as he pushed the boat out further and further with his content. And in 2018, he produced arguably the most controversial video ever to be uploaded to the site. During his visit to Japan, where he not only behaved like a massive jerk in public, he filmed a deceased body in the Okigahara forest for a vlog. Paul stumbled across a deceased body and decided to make jokes and continued to film the body and edited it into a vlog for his YouTube channel, where it gained millions of views. And he wore a crazy hat while doing it, which made what he did so much worse due to the sensitive nature of the video. Paul later removed the video, posted a written apology on Twitter, and then released an apology video. But it wasn't enough. He had the usual decline from there, loads of hate, a disappearance from all socials for several months, and then a grand return, going for a short film that essentially said, "I do care about people taking their own life." Here's some footage of me chatting with a man who tried to take his own life. He's doing okay now though, having earned more in 2 fights with KSI than I'll ever get my hands on. Money, money, money. Oh, to be rich. And when people are rich, if they have children, you'd think that they would probably be spoiled, but that's not always the case. I'm your host, Michaela, and today I'm going to talk about the top 10 richest people who aren't leaving their fortunes to their kids. And make sure to subscribe because it really helps us out. But enough of that, let's get on to the video. Number 10. Elton John. With a career in music spanning 4 decades, Sir Elton John's retirement tour is expected to gross more than $400 million, according to Forbes, which would just add to his already huge net worth. John and his husband David Furnish have 2 sons, Zachary and Elijah, but the singer has no intentions of spoiling them with his vast fortune. The boys live the most incredible lives. They're not normal kids, and I'm not pretending they are, John told the Daily Mirror in 2016, but you have to have some semblance of normality. Some respect for money, some respect for work. The couple borrows from the Warren Buffett School of Inheritance. Buffett has a really cool model in that he leaves his children enough money so that they have a house, a car, and all their basic needs covered and cared for so that they never need to worry. John told the Daily Mirror, but it's not crazy, silly, go wild money so that they could be buying Picassos or private jets. Number 9. Sting. The former Police frontman and hugely successful solo artist worked as a bus conductor, laborer, tax officer, and teacher before becoming one of the richest musicians in Britain. Sting told the Mail in 2014 that he also wants his 6 children to earn their own way in the world, and that trust funds would be albatrosses around their necks. They have to work, he said. All my kids know that, and they rarely ask me for anything, which I really respect and appreciate. Sting added that he's willing to assist them if needed, but so far his lessons have been efficient. His kids have careers of their own, with 3 pursuing acting, 2 following their father's lead with music careers, and another directing music videos. Obviously, if they were in trouble, I would help them, but I never really had to do that. They have the work ethic that makes them want to succeed on their own merit. Number 8. Bill Gates. Bill and Melinda Gates are giving their 3 kids, quote, a minuscule portion of their estimated $89 billion, they told the Daily Mail in 2011. It'll mean they have to find their own way, Bill said at the time. Although even a fraction of the Gates' wealth will be enough to put their kids among the wealthiest individuals in the world. Bill believes it will compel them to rely on themselves. It's not a favor to kids to have them have huge sums of wealth, he told This Morning last year. As reported by SF Gate, it distorts anything they might do, creating their own path. The
The couple plans to put the majority of their fortune toward charitable causes, namely the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which aims to eradicate diseases, poverty, and hunger across the globe. Along with fellow billionaire Warren Buffett, the Gates also helped create the Giving Pledge in 2010, which encourages more of the super rich to leave the majority of their wealth to philanthropic causes. Number 7. Gordon Ramsay. The owner and operator of 40 restaurants around the globe with 16 Michelin stars between them, Gordon Ramsay is one of the biggest names in the British restaurant industry. The world-renowned celebrity chef has a strong TV presence, hosting shows such as MasterChef USA, MasterChef Junior, and Hell's Kitchen. The father of 5, however, has no intention of leaving his fortune to his children, who still sit in economy on flights while Ramsay and his wife, Tana, enjoy their time off in first class. It's definitely not going to them, Ramsay told The Telegraph in 2017. And that's not in a mean way, it's not to spoil them. The only thing I've agreed with Tana is that they get a 25% deposit on a flat, but not the whole flat. I've been super lucky having that career for the last 15 years in the US, Ramsay said. Seriously, it has earned a fortune and I've been very lucky, so I respect everything I've got. Number 6. James Brown. Before his passing in 2006, James Brown donated a majority of his $100 million fortune to the I Feel Good Trust, a charity that raises funds for underprivileged children in South Carolina. But despite his wishes, his cash got tied up in a messy legal battle with his children. In 2007, Brown's kids and ex-wife, Tommy Ray, filed a lawsuit against the representatives of their famous father's estate to contest the will. While the South Carolina Supreme Court intervened in 2015, the issue wasn't resolved until 2020. The court ruled that Tommy Ray was not legally Brown's wife, meaning she was not entitled to the money she had been fighting for, which could have been as much as 50% of his estate, according to the New York Times. It allowed Brown's fortune to be released to his kids and the trust per his will. His intent is finally going to be carried out, and it's going to benefit the children of South Carolina and Georgia. A professor at the Charleston School of Law in South Carolina told the New York Times. Most people are going to look at that and think that's a really good outcome. Number 5. George Lucas. The creator of Star Wars became one of the richest people in Hollywood after selling his company Lucasfilms to Disney for more than $4 billion in 2012. But the father of 4 isn't passing all those galactic credits to his children. "I'm dedicating the majority of my wealth to improving education," Lucas wrote in his Giving Pledge letter in 2010. "It is the key to the survival of the human race. Education is a long-standing passion," as he founded the George Lucas Educational Foundation in 1991. Lucas's 3 adult children, he and his second wife Melody Hobson, welcomed their first child together in 2013, seemed to be doing well on their own. His eldest, Amanda, fought in MMA before retiring to have a child in 2014. His other daughter, Katie, is a writer and contributed to Star Wars, the Clone Wars TV series. And son, Jet, works in the film and TV industry, including visual effects work on the hit Disney Plus series The Mandalorian. Number 4. Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford had a net worth of $8.5 million when she passed away, a fortune that she chose to share with just 2 of her 4 adopted children. The actress, who passed in 1977, famously left her twin daughters, Cindy and Kathy, about $77,000 each. While Christina and Christopher, her other children, were cut out of the will entirely. Christina went on to release a tell-all book about her allegedly abusive mother called Mommy Dearest. Crawford had talked publicly about her distaste for the project and problems she had with her estranged children. She is her own person, and that person brought me a lot of pain, the Hollywood veteran said, according to Charlotte Chandler's book. Not the girl next door. And now I say it about Christina. The problem was I adopted her, but she didn't adopt me. Number 3. Andrew Lloyd Webber. The famed composer and father of 5 told the Daily Mirror in 2008 that he didn't plan to pass his vast fortune onto his children. "I'm not in favor of children suddenly finding a lot of money coming their way, because then they have no incentive to work," he said. Webber is the musical theater composer behind award-winning long-running shows such as The Phantom of the Opera, Cats, and Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat. The composer, with 7 Tonys, 3 Grammys, an Academy Award, and a knighthood, has a net worth of well over $1 billion, according to the Sunday Times annual Rich List. Instead, Webber told the Daily Mirror that he wanted to invest his fortune into musical projects after his passing, although he has no set-in-stone plans for the time being. "It is extremely likely that my wife will outlive me, so I will leave the problem with her," Webber said. Number 2. Lauren Powell Jobs. It is not right for individuals to accumulate a massive amount of wealth that's equivalent to millions and millions of other people combined, Jobs told the New York Times. There's nothing fair about that. Jobs inherited a multi-billion-dollar fortune from her late husband, Apple co-founder Steve Jobs, Business Insider reported. The billionaire is a formidable presence in the investing world and a full-time philanthropist. She's the founder of College Track, a nonprofit organization that helps prepare low-income students for higher education, and social change organization, the Emerson Collective. Jobs has 3 children, Reed, Aaron, and Eve, Business Insider reported. Number 1. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. Actors Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, who met in their teens, who played love interests on That 70s Show, but didn't actually fall in love and marry until nearly a decade and a half later, because when she started on the show there was a requirement that everyone has to be 18. Well, she lied and said she was when she was really 14, but they still thought she was the only one fit for the role. And together they have a collective net worth of $275 million. While they may have gotten rich at a young age, they have no plans to help their 2 young children. Wyatt and Dimitri do the same thing. They have also said that they refuse to spoil their children. They don't even get them presents at Christmas. I'm not setting up a trust for them, Kutcher revealed to Business Insider. We'll end up giving our money away to charity and to various things. The actor said that his kids are already, quote, living a really privileged life, and they don't even know it. He told fellow actor Dax Shepard on the Lighters podcast in 2018. Kutcher says he's willing to hear his kids out if they have a business venture for him to support, but he insists they won't get special treatment from their dad. If my kids want to start a business and they have a good business plan, I'll invest in it, he said.
I didn't even know trillionaires exist, or at least existed, considering most people on this list were alive many, many years ago. I'm your host, Michaela, and today I'll be telling you the top 10 trillionaires who you didn't know existed. And make sure to subscribe if you aren't already, but now let's get started. Number 10, Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan was around from 1206 to 1227, and he was one of the most fearsome conquerors of all time. And by the end of his life, the Mongol Empire occupied a vast empire from Central Asia to China. Much of the wealth came from plunders, taxes, and control of caravan routes along the Silk Road, and provided the Mongols with valuable revenue. He owned 270,000 horses and purchased stone diamonds worth $1 trillion, and gold deposits weighing in at a whopping 2 million tons, totaling $11 trillion alone. Number 9, Elon Musk. As of November 2021, Forbes has named Elon Musk the richest man in the world. Musk has a net worth of $281.6 billion as of late 2021. However, it's highly likely he has a lot more now. But it's suggested that he is the next trillionaire. If he did become one right now, he would be in a club of one person, considering there are no living trillionaires right now. Elon Musk's fortune is tied to Tesla and SpaceX. No doubt he also invests wisely in stocks, cryptocurrency, and such. How else could he keep building his wealth? Besides the sale of his Tesla vehicles and accessories and parts, there must be more for him to be able to amass such a fortune. Number 8, Zhao Zu. Zhao Zu was the 6th emperor of the Song dynasty in China. His original personal name was Zhao Zongzhen, but he changed it to Zhao Zu after his coronation. He reigned from 1067 until his passing in 1085. The enormous wealth came from technology, innovations, and efficient reform in collecting taxes. The Song dynasty was the first to use gunpowder and first to introduce paper money during the 11th century. The emperor supported the modern welfare state and the well-being of their citizens. When the emperor Shenzong did pass in 1085 at the age of 36 from an unspecified illness and was succeeded by his son, Zhao Zu. Number 7, Jeff Bezos. Before Elon Musk took the top spot for the richest man in the world, there was Jeff Bezos, who was slipped into second place in that category with about $201 billion. His wealth comes mostly from Amazon, which is probably the most popular and widely used retail online shop in the world. As with most wealthy people, Bezos likely makes smart investments in real estate and the stock market at least. It may not seem he has far to go to get back to first, but Elon Musk has certainly shown himself to be a fierce competitor. And with Elon recently buying Twitter, it's unlikely he will beat him out of that top spot. Number 6, Akbar the Great. The Indian emperor conquered hundreds of thousands of square miles of territory and ruled over much of the Indian subcontinent. Known as the Mongol Emperor from 1556 until 1605. He controlled around 25% of the world's GDP at the time, which would translate to a staggering $21 trillion today. The Mongols lived in a luxury rivaled only by the Bourbons of France, the Habsburg of Austria, the Romanovs of Russia, and the emperors of China. So impressed were the British by the wealth of the Mongols, the word Mongol entered the English language as a term to describe an all-powerful ruler of industry, films, or other endeavors. Compared to Elizabeth of England, the seat of power of the Mongol emperor was the peacock throne. It had in its background an image of a peacock with an expanded tail, decorated in gold and precious stones. The gold divan surmounted by bejeweled peacocks was a symbol of Mongol power and wealth. During Akbar's period, military innovations in cannons, fortifications, and the use of elephants were introduced. Number 5, Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa was the emperor and sultan of the Malian Empire, consisting of territory formerly belonging to the Ghana Empire in present-day southern Mauritania and in Mali and the immediate surrounding areas. His lands had vast gold deposits during his reign. Gold was in substantial demand, and Mali Valley may have been the largest producer of gold in the world, bringing him immeasurable wealth. The story of Mousa's gold pilgrimage has been told for ages. Mousa embarked on a pilgrimage to Mecca between 1324 and 1325, taking with him 60,000 men, all wearing brocade and Parisian silk, 12,000 slaves, who each carried 1.8 kilograms or 4 pounds of gold bars, and heralds dressed in silks, who bore gold staffs, organized horses and handled bags, and 80 camels which each carried 23 to 136 kilograms or 50 to 300 pounds of gold dust. Mousa provided all necessities for the procession, feeding the entire company of men and animals. Mousa gave the gold to the poor he met along his route. Mousa not only gave to the cities he passed on the way to Mecca, including Cairo and Medina, but also traded gold for souvenirs. Mousa's generous actions inadvertently devastated the economies of the regions through which he passed. In the cities of Cairo, Medina, and Mecca, the sudden influx of gold devalued the metal for the next decade. Prices on goods and wares greatly inflated. To rectify the gold market on his way back from Mecca, Mousa borrowed all the gold he could carry from moneylenders in Cairo at high interest. This is the only time recorded in history that one man directly controlled the price of gold in the Mediterranean. News of the Malian emperor's city of wealth even traveled across the Mediterranean to southern Europe, where traders from Venice, Granada, and Genoa added Timbuktu to their maps to trade manufactured goods for gold. Timbuktu soon became a center of trade, culture, and Islam. Today, Mousa's palace has since vanished. The university, Sankor, and mosque now still stand in Timbuktu today. Number 4. Amenhotep III. He was around from 1388 to 1351 BC, and during the 18th dynasty, Egypt was a global superpower both in military and trade. His reign was a period of unprecedented prosperity and artistic splendor, when Egypt reached the peak of its artistic and international power. Amenhotep was lucky. During his reign, there were no wars, and Egypt's weapon trade was at an all-time high. He kept all money inside the family, so when his mother, who controlled most of the wealth, passed, he became head of the family. This gave him literally all land in Egypt, giving him a total wealth of $4 to $6 trillion. Number 3. King Solomon. King Solomon's riches came from taxation, trade, and tributes, and was around from 970 to 931 BCE. According to the Bible, King Solomon during his rule is said to have received 25 tons of gold for each of the 39 years of his reign. In a single year, according to 1 Kings 10:14, Solomon collected tribute accounting to 666 talents, which is 18,125 kilograms of gold. Solomon is described as surrounding himself with all the luxuries and the grandeur of an Eastern monarch, and his government prospered. The Hebrew Bible credits him as the builder of the first temple in Jerusalem, using the vast wealth he and his father had accumulated. He dedicated King Solomon's temple to Yahweh, the God of Israel. Number 2. Bill Gates. Bill Gates is a big name across the globe as the founder of Microsoft and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. His net worth comes in at around $137.9 billion, which is a far cry from being a trillionaire. Currently, Gates is undergoing some potentially negative press related to his divorce from Melinda Gates. That said, together, their post-divorce donations have gone over $3 billion in the first quarter of 2022, so maybe he's next in line to be a trillionaire. And if you're wondering why no trillionaires are alive today, it's probably because of inflation. Also, a little fun fact, cause why not? A trillionaire could give every person on Earth $140. Number 1. Augustus Caesar. The Roman Emperor was around from 63 BC to 14 AD, and controlled vast stretches of land throughout the Roman Empire, controlling many states. His personal fortune was equivalent to 20% of the entire empire's economy. Caesar's wealth peaked when he owned Egypt as part of his personal private property. During his period, Egypt contributed 25 to 30% of GDP and had some of the best agricultural land. But that is all. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Celebrities typically tend to marry other celebrities, cause they say it's easier or whatever, but I just think it causes more drama. I'm your host Michaela, and today I'll be telling you the top 10 richest celebrities who marry normal people. And make sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you can stay up to date on all our videos. But now let's get started. Number 10. Meryl Streep and Dawn Gummer. Meryl Streep is an American actress, often described as the best actress of her generation. Streep is particularly known for her versatility and accent adaptability. She has received numerous accolades throughout her career, spanning over 5 decades, including a record 21 Academy Award nominations, winning 3, and a record of 32 Golden Globe Award nominations, winning 8. She has also received 2 British Academy Film Awards, 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards, and 3 Primetime Emmy Awards, in addition to nominations for a Tony Award and 6 Grammy Awards. In 1997, she made her film debut in Julia. In 1978, she won her first Primetime Emmy Award for a leading role in a miniseries, and received her first Oscar nomination for The Deer Hunter. She then continued to gain awards and critical praise for her work in the late 1980s and 1990s, but commercial success was varied, with the comedy Death Becomes Her and the drama The Bridges of Madison County her biggest earners in that period. So with all that success, you might expect her to have a spouse similarly high up in the entertainment industry, but that's not the case. Her husband, Don Gummer, is a sculptor, and the pair have 4 children together. First, I'm going to thank Don because when you thank your husband at the end of a speech, they play him out with the music, and I want him to know that everything I value most in our lives you've given to me, Streep said in 2012 as she accepted the Best Actress Oscar for her role in The Iron Lady. Number 9. Alec Baldwin and Hilaria Thomas. Baldwin and Thomas were first introduced in February 2011 at Pure Food and Wine, a since-closed vegan restaurant in Union Square. As Thomas recapped the event for the couple's New York Times wedding announcement, "I was standing near the door with my friends when he walked up and took my hand and said, 'I must know you.'" Thomas was 27 years old and working as an instructor at Yoga Vita, a studio she helped open upon graduating from NYU. "I saw right away that she was very dedicated," Baldwin told The Times. Quote, "She's the yoga queen of the village." Number 8. Paul Rudd and Julie Yeager. After his first breakout role in Clueless in 1995, Rudd moved to New York and, on the advice of Amy Heckerling, the film's director, got a publicist. When he arrived in the city, Rudd went straight to his publicist's office, where Yeager also worked as a publicist herself. As Rudd was late for an audition, Yeager offered to drop Rudd's bags at his friend's apartment. A few days later, hardly knowing a single soul in Manhattan, he asked her out for lunch, and the rest, as they say, is history. Number 7. Jon Stewart and Tracy McShane. Stewart met then veterinary technician McShane on a blind date at a Mexican restaurant in 1996, just 1 month after Stewart was fired from his show on MTV. "It's a fairy tale from my end," McShane told Oprah. "I had just gotten out of a 7-year relationship. I was depressed and my friends were trying to set me up all the time. After a bad date, they'd ask, 'What are you looking for?' I had discovered the Jon Stewart show, so I said, 'Someone funny and sweet like Jon Stewart.'" As fate would have it, McShane's roommate at the time was working as a production assistant on Wishful Thinking and played matchmaker when Stewart stopped by the set. In February 1990, Stewart proposed to McShane through the New York Times, having enlisted the newspaper's crossword puzzle editor for help. Among the clues specific to the couple, the answers to Valentine's Day request and recipient of the request were "Will you marry me?" and "Tracy." Number 6. Matt Damon and Luciana Barroso. Matthew Damon is an American actor, film producer, and screenwriter, ranked among Forbes' most bankable stars. The films in which he has appeared in have collectively earned over $3.88 billion at the North American box office, making him one of the highest-grossing actors of all time. He has received various awards and nominations, including an Academy Award and 2 Golden Globe Awards, in addition to nominations for 3 British Academy Film Awards, 6 Screen Actors Guild Awards, and 7 Primetime Emmy Awards. Damon began his acting career by appearing in high school theater productions. He then made his professional acting debut in the film Mystic Pizza in 1988. He continued acting in Courage Under Fire in 1996 and The Rainmaker. He soon gained prominence in 1997 when he and Ben Affleck wrote and starred in Good Will Hunting, which won them the Academy and Golden Globe Awards for Best Screenplay. But what about his love life? Well, Damon met Luciana Barroso, then a bartender at Miami's Crowbar, when he was in town filming Stuck on You. After a long day of shooting, some crew members invited Damon to get a drink. They said, "Come on," and kind of dragged me along, Damon told Ellen DeGeneres in 2011. "I literally saw her across a crowded room, and 8 years and 4 kids later, that's my life. I don't know how else our paths would have crossed if that didn't happen. The moral of the story, when you're tired, suck it up and go to the bar and you might meet your wife," says Damon. Number 5. Jerry Seinfeld and Jessica Sklar. Sklar was a newlywed at the Reebok gym on the Upper West Side, wearing headphones and filling a water bottle when she met Seinfeld. "I was going through a difficult time and I was approached by Jerry Seinfeld, and he attempted to make me laugh. And I was really not interested in being entertained at the moment. He came around again and said something funny, and I actually had a laugh." At the time, Sklar was a PR executive for Tommy Hilfiger and had just married Eric Niederlander. When they were wed, guest invitations were styled after playbills and indicated Sklar was making her Broadway debut. Soon after meeting Seinfeld, Sklar broke things off with her marriage and became engaged to Seinfeld a year later, after he proposed at Soho's Balthazar. Number 4. Reese Witherspoon and Jim Toth. The Oscar-winning actress first crossed paths with a talent agent at a friend's party when a drunk guest was hitting on her and Toth intervened. He was like slurring, scrolling, pointing finger in her face, "You don't know me," Witherspoon recalled in a 2012 interview. Jim came over and said, "Please excuse my friend, he's just broken up with someone." Witherspoon and Toth hit it off and were married the next year. Since then, Toth has continued his career as an agent at the Creative Artists Agency in Los Angeles, where he has represented everyone from Scarlett Johansson to Robert Downey Jr. and Matthew McConaughey. Number 3. Patrick Dempsey and Gillian Fink. The Grey's Anatomy star found his match at Fink's Salon Deluxe in 1994, when the hairstylist noticed there was an appointment under the name Patrick Dempsey. She wrote it off as a joke. "I was shocked," Fink said of her surprise when Patrick Dempsey himself came in for a trim, "but at the same time I was happy because he was so cute." Both were in relationships with other people, and it took 3 years of regular haircuts before the two actually got together. Number 2. Anne Hathaway and Adam Schulman. Hathaway met Schulman, an actor/jewelry designer, at the Palm Springs Film Festival in 2008, through a mutual friend. Their chemistry was so apparent that Hathaway told her pal, "I'm going to marry that man." "I think he thought I was a little nuts, which I am a bit. But I'm also nice," Hathaway has said. "I knew from the second I met him that he was the love of my life." While Schulman's acting career hasn't mirrored the same success as his wife, aside from a part in the 2015 Meryl Streep dramedy, Ricky and the Flash, and producing Song 1, which Hathaway also starred in. He has a jewelry line called James Banks. He even helped design Hathaway's ethically sourced 6-carat diamond engagement ring when he proposed in 2011. Number 1. Jennifer Lawrence and Cook Maroney. Jennifer Lawrence is an American actress, the world's highest paid actress in 2015 and 2016. Her films have grossed over $6 billion worldwide to date. She appeared in Time's 100 Most Influential People in the World list in 2013, and the Forbes Celebrity 100 list from 2013 to 2016. She made her film debut with a supporting role in the dramedy Garden Party in 2008, and had her breakthrough playing a poverty-stricken teenager in the independent mystery drama Winter's Bones in 2010. Lawrence's career progressed with starring roles as the mutant Mystique in the X-Men film series, and Katniss Everdeen in the Hunger Games film series. And her love life is just as interesting. Lawrence and the art dealer Cook Maroney embody power couple style, to the point where it's hard to believe they met through a mutual friend only in 2018. 1 year later, they got married to a 150-person ceremony in Rhode Island, to which the bride wore Dior, of course. But that is all, and thanks for watching.